One community organization is cultivating passion by transforming vacant lots into community gardens.
Yeah, the Emerald South Economic Development Collaborative amplifies local culture through pride and power. Gian Foreman joins us now with more on Lots of Compassion initiative and the Black Joyride. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the Lots of Compassion first, because you guys have decided to really transform some of these vacant lots in Chicago, and there's a lot of them.
Yes. So Emerald South was created by the University of Chicago, the Obama Foundation, the city, and some community members to make sure that the community grows overall. And so one of the ways that we thought about was not just focus on the things we don't have in the community, but the things we have. Vacant lots were a lot of them. And so to date, we've worked on over 100 acres of vacant lots, transforming them. Then we created this partnership with Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day. They came up with an initiative called Lots of Compassion, and thinking about the impact that vacant lots have on community. A study was done to show that Americans think that there's a compassion gap. About 2/3 of Americans believe there's a gap in compassion.
And you're talking about the Mrs. Meyer's company that people are familiar with like candles and soaps and things.
Good smelling soap.
Yeah, there you go. So this is a great collaboration. And when we're talking about these vacant lots, I mean, there's the variety of things you're doing with these lots, right?
Yes. So, you know, we have some lots where we planted over 100,000 tulip bulbs. We have sunflowers. In this particular one in Woodlawn, it was we brought in site design architect as the landscape architect, the artist Brandon Bro to paint this incredible mural, as well as a local landscaping company to kind of set everything up for us.
So what's really cool is the ride coming up. We'll take you through some very interesting parts of the city, see the work that you guys have done, talk about health and all the other things that go along with it. It's a great collaboration.
Yeah, so on Saturday, August 17th, we're having our 3rd annual Black Joyride, where we'll be taking a tour through some of the Southside communities, going by the future Obama Center, but we're starting at the Woodlawn Garden that's at 63rd and Kenwood, just as a way to kind of say, hey, you know, this belongs to us, these vacant lots in these communities, with a little bit of elbow grease, some partnerships. These are the kind of things that we can do in our community.
And Gian, is this ride for people that have worked in the organizations and worked on the lots, or is it open to everybody?
This ride is open to everybody. If you already have a bike, you bring your bike. If you don't have a bike, we'll have free divvies there for you. This is an opportunity to show another side of these communities, not just the bad things we hear about, but to see a lot of the good things that's taking place in the community too.
Because I don't think people realize, if you live in a neighborhood where block after block is empty and not cared for, how that can cause depression and really bring a neighborhood down. And you guys are doing the exact opposite, because you're bringing greenery, growing, and that really mentally can help an entire community. Yeah,
there was a study done in Philadelphia where vacant lots were improved, and they had violent crimes in those communities were reduced by about 27%, and people's mental health was improved by over 65%.
And it's about dignity too, and knowing that, you know, there's a group of people that thinks enough of you to actually put in the work to beautify.
It's interesting, as we were creating this garden, the neighbors, you know, just walking down the street would say, hey, what are you doing here? And I would ask them, well, what do you think we should do here?
Oh, that's great.
And they would say, a garden. I'm like, oh, come on, man, that's too easy. Come up with something else. And so then you start to hear people's ideas, right? And these are people who live in the community. So as you start to get that community participation, the creativity starts to come out. But these lots have been vacant for 50, 60, 70 years. Wow. So now if you need to bring out some creativity, and so to have a beautiful garden like the Woodlawn Garden where you can just come out, we have yoga classes there sometimes.
Oh, that's cool.
Beautiful.
Meditation and things like that. So these are some of the kind of initiatives that we're doing.
Well, also, not even beautification. Some of these are useful to the actual land in the neighborhoods, correct?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, so first of all, flooding is a big deal that we have. So by planting natural prairie plants and flowers, it helps with flooding. It helps with air quality.
And
it attracts
animals, native.
That's exactly right. The flora and the fauna that it brings about. So all of that has an impact.
Gian, what are you going to be doing wintertime though? It's so cold and the ground is frozen for so long.
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? We put up fencing. Wooden fencing, split rail fencing. In the beginning, some of the neighbors were like, this looks like a farm, we don't want this. But then you start to see the littering goes down, the loitering goes down, no more abandoned cars. And so we can pretty much do that year round. We can't do the planting, but we can put up the fencing.
Good idea.
Fabulous, Gian. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much.
much.
Thank you.
The Black Joy Ride is this Saturday, August 17th. You heard Gian. It's open to everybody. The Mrs. Myers Woodlawn Garden, that's where it's going to start. For more information, just head to emeraldsouth.org or mrsmyers.com/compassion. You see it on the screen. It's better just to copy it there. Or you can find them on Instagram. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.